This is BBN Game Day Citrus Bowl Preview, presented by UK Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back to our Citrus Bowl preview of BBN Game Day. We are joined now with Jeff Piecoro of the UK Sports Network. Of course, always has good stuff to say for us.
Good to have you.
Yeah, it's always fun to be here on New Year's Eve.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And that is a good thing, right?
I feel bad not having a sport coat on.
That's right.
You're
It's
not,
okay.
You're not
It's okay.
sweating like I am.
Let's get into this one. The Iowa defense. It's not changed a lot under Kirk Ferentz in his time. Will Levis, you would think, would kind of have a leg up, having seen them before when he was at Penn State. The coaches have been telling us all week that Iowa's defense doesn't do a lot of exotic things. They just play a few different coverages. It's usually what you see is what you get. But the team plays with such a discipline that sometimes knowing what they're going to do, Will Levis says, doesn't really help you out.
That doesn't necessarily make it easy at all. It's because, like I said, they're disciplined, and even though you might know what you're going to get on a certain coverage, it's something that it's a defense that it takes a disciplined offense to combat that. So we need to make sure we go out there and play cleanly, and as long as we do that, I think we should be able to do some good stuff.
All right, so Jeff, what do you think you need to see out of Will Levis?
Well, they play a base zone defense, so they're going to take everything underneath. They want you to throw it short. They kind of take that away. Yeah. So for me, that means what Will did against Louisville. I think he's going to have to run it a lot more in this game to open things up. They're not real big. They're very good. They're very disciplined. They play gap control, but I think our offensive line can move them a little bit because they're not huge at all. Right. They're just really good and very disciplined. They play fundamental football.
Now, Jeff, on the offensive side of the ball, we talked about the wide receiving core in the last segment. No Josh Ali, no Isaiah Epps. So we talked about some of the young guys that are going to have to step up. Do you anticipate one of those guys stepping up? Or do we just count on Wandale having like 20 catches and doing his thing all day?
Well, I think that he's going to have a lot of catches, but they're going to be a lot shorter. They're going to be 6, 7, 8-yard catches. I really think that because of the way Iowa plays, you might see a lot more 2 tight end sets out of Kentucky. And then Chauncey Magwood has played a lot. DeMarcus Harris has played a lot. I think those 2 guys are going to fill those gaps, so to speak. But I really think you're going to see a bigger team for Kentucky because the size advantage that they have. And I can't believe I'm saying that about a Big Ten team.
Right.
But this is going to be like a Big Ten game. Think Kentucky is Wisconsin with a great wide receiver. That's the way I think of this game. I think it's going to be an old Big Ten kind of battle.
Now we talk about the wide receivers and how much they may have to do, but really, right, Chris Rodriguez, he's got to carry it, right?
No. Yeah, this has to be Chris Rodriguez running the football. I mean, he's healthy. He's raring to go. I really like the backs that have really come in behind him, too, that could be difference makers, where he might not have to carry it 25 times, but he has to be effective because that opens everything up. Remember, they play a zone. If they start to come up a little bit, you might be able to sneak somebody by him, or your corner patterns, or out there deep out patterns is what you're going to see by the Kentucky receivers.
Now, on Iowa's offensive side, not a great year. I mean, their quarterback situation is sort of up in the air right now. Petrus was injured during the Big Ten championship, so Padilla, he's gotten some snaps this year, but, I mean, the defense has to be pinning their ears on this one and kind of smelling blood in the water.
This is a very pedestrian offense that they have. They're going to run the football. They'd love to. Although their best player is the running back who's not playing. Yeah. That makes it tough on them. The one guy that they have who's really good is their tight end. If you can control him, Wandale has more catches than all 4 of their wide receivers combined. It's the tight end that makes that offense go. But like I said, it's very pedestrian. I think you're going to see Kentucky do a lot of, it's called run blitzing. Michigan did that to them, and it really stuffed their offense.
All right, you brought him up, the tight end, right? He's one of the longest line of tight ends to come out of Iowa. He does a great job. Leads the Hawkeyes in receptions with 50. Leads the team in receiving yards. He's second on the team in touchdowns. Certainly going to be a challenge for linebackers. John Summerall pointed him out specifically earlier this week.
They're physical. They've got an identity. They run the ball. They take shots off of it. The tight end's obviously a really good player, number 84, and he's a dynamic pass catcher, and he's a good blocker too. But they have an identity, what they want to do on offense, and they do it really well.
So when you have a tight end so good, it creates some mismatches out there, doesn't it?
It does, but the strength of Kentucky's defense, I think, is on those edges. It's JJ, it's DeAndre Square, and it's. I think they're healthy finally. I think that's really going to help. They may be able to run between the tackles. That's why I think it's great to get Derek Jackson back there. 245, 250-pound battering ram at middle linebacker. That I think is going to help this Kentucky defense too.
And we brought it up briefly earlier. No Tyler Goodson in this game. Had over 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns for Iowa. So now you're banking on kind of a freshman in Williams, and now you have the guy who's been fumbling the ball over his career, and Ivory Kelly-Martin, they're going to have to kind of carry the load, at least in the backfield.
Yeah, I think Ivory Kelly-Martin, they are happy to have him back. He's missed a lot this year. He has practiced the last couple of weeks. He is better. He gives him a little different dynamic back there. The two freshmen, you don't know what you're going to have in a freshman, especially in a bowl game. So to have him back, I think, helps him a little. But I think, again, it's going to be a quarterback game. Their starting quarterback is a pocket passer. The other guy is an RPO kind of guy. But they don't scare me offensively. They're very pedestrian. I think first 1 to 17 might win this game.
I've mentioned this a couple times. This Iowa Hawkeyes offense reminds me of the Chicago Bears offense. You can't really bank on much.
And that's your team.
I know, exactly. I can roast them. That's all good. So that's how it is. That's what I think.
What do you think, Josh Paschal? Highly questionable. Tough to see.
I think I made this comparison. Do you remember when Derek Anderson was trying to come back and play in the championship game? That week before the game, he was the best player in equipment. Rick Pitino says, I cannot risk playing you for your future.
Yeah.
I would be absolutely amazed if he does anything except walk out for the flip of the coin.
Yeah.
He has done everything he could do in a Kentucky uniform. Thank you, Josh, for everything you've done. Watch this game and cheer your guys on.
Absolutely.
Well said. Jeff, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Guys.
All right. A lot more going on here at the Citrus Bowl than just football, so stay right there. We'll look at some of the team's events when we come back.
Tune in to the Don Franklin Countdown to Kickoff show with Christy Thomas and former Wildcats Jeremy Jarman and Dusty Bonner. 2 hours before kickoff on UK Sports Network radio affiliates and the UK Athletics app.